Hey guys, my name's Landry and I'm the community manager at Batch Service. And today we're talking about the 4 things you need to have set up to start making your first phone calls in BatchDialer. Check this out. So we're going to keep this pretty straight to the point today, but if you have questions, let us know down in the comments. And better than that, go to the description and click on the link to join the community, because you can send me a message and I can always clarify things and dive into more detail on things I'll skip over for today. We do a lot of master classes and challenges, and I host those where we go into every detail under the sun, which I really love. So if you enjoy the details, you will definitely want to come to the next master class in a couple weeks. So get into the community and you can find out more information on that. But we're going to just get into 4 steps to make those first phone calls in BatchDialer. And the first is to create a voicemail. Eventually, when you start calling people, they're going to miss your calls. They're going to want to call you back, and you're going to want to have a spot for them to be able to leave you a message if you're not available. So click on your name in the top right-hand corner and then go to your settings. Immediately go over to your voicemail section and click on New Voicemail in the top right-hand corner. This is basically where if somebody gave you a call right now and you weren't available, they would hear what you're about to create in this voicemail essentially. So you're greeting. So it would say something along the lines of, hey, thanks for calling, your name or your business name. Leave us a detailed message with your name, your property address, and anything else you want them to include. So we'll go ahead and make an example and just make this however you'd like. So I'll name this voicemail 7 just because I have a lot of different duplicate voicemails in here. Pick an email. You will get a notification in this email that you choose every single time somebody leaves you a message, so do keep that in mind. You'll click on Add New, or if you already have a recording, definitely add it here that you want to use, but we'll click on Add New and I'm going to name it the same thing. Voicemail 7. If you already have a file on your computer, go ahead and upload it. If not, you can use text-to-speech, or what I like to do is record audio right here. Click the record button and go about having your greeting, whatever you want them to leave with you, what you want them to hear when they call you back and you're not available to answer and have that conversation with them. Hey, thanks for giving us a call back. Leave us a detailed message with your name, your property address, and anything else you want to leave with us. Something like that. Listen back to it, make sure you like it. It sounds good to go. Click save, and then click save once more. After that's been created, the second step is to get phone numbers. Wow, I could talk about phone numbers for hours. This has got to be the most important thing when making phone calls. So please do go to the Help Center where we have a best practice sheet on a lot of those things that are going to be proven to help you have amazing connection rates and get into the community so you can come to the master class and I'll teach you how. But once we're in the phone system and phone numbers area, you can definitely add external numbers if you already have something that you own, or you can buy them right through BatchDialer. We have high quality phone numbers that we hold for a very extended amount of time so that you're getting clean phone numbers when adding them in your account. So I'll click on Buy Number. You can pick state and or area code. So I'll do 480 for Arizona phone numbers and select as many phone numbers. Now, this is where it comes down to how many calls are you going to be making in the day. I recommend making no more than 80 calls per day per phone number if you can, just so that your phone numbers aren't getting flagged so quickly by the providers. Once again, there's many things you can do to keep that pool of phone numbers for as long as possible instead of replacing them all the time. So I'm going to just grab a couple of these just to show you how this works and assign them to that voicemail you just created. I'm going to grab right here at the bottom, voicemail 7. So anytime somebody eventually calls these numbers back, once I actually start reaching out, they're going to hear that greeting that I just made and be able to leave me a message. I'm in the advanced plan, so getting these phone numbers won't cost me anything because I have 60 numbers included per agent, or that's in my plan, without having to pay anything additional. The basic plan, it'll cost something different within your account. So be paying attention to that. It may look different than mine. So I'll click order now and get those into this section. So those will eventually be added and their destination will be voicemail 7. So make sure that if you are in the advanced plan, after those phone numbers have been added, we'll just give that a quick refresh right here, these brand new numbers. Make sure that you're selecting them, clicking actions at the top, and then monitoring the reputation only in the advanced plans so that you're able to actually see with the partnership we have with a company on which phone providers, if any, have flagged that phone number. You can even register them with the carriers. Lots of really good stuff you can do with your phone numbers. But after those have been added, let's just kind of focus on these and not worry about these other phone numbers I have. But these brand new numbers, I'm going to monitor the reputation just to get those. And these are the ones I'm going to use for today's example. So the third step is to add contacts. You do need to have an already skip trace list, meaning you have phone numbers or contact information attached to who you're wanting to reach out to. And if you have a Batch Leads account, you can actually integrate the two and push a list directly from Batch Leads to BatchDialer, but we're just going to focus on uploading a spreadsheet today. So in contact list, this is where we're going to go to import our contacts. You'll either grab it from your computer when you click on this section, or you'll go to, your downloads. I have something from recently this morning, and I'll drag it over and it will start processing. Now, after that finishes, the system will do its very best to auto-recognize the columns of data you have within your spreadsheet with BatchDialer and where it's going to sit and be saved and get all processed. So it's your job to make sure that the system did it properly and just scan over it and double check. So far, it looks like it's matched everything proper. The source field is my spreadsheet and what I have the columns of data named. So first name with first name, last name, address, mailing address I have, perfect. Now, just depending on who you're skip tracing with, and I won't go into a ton of detail with this, but the way that Batch skip traces is that you'll have the most accurate to least accurate number from top to bottom. The first 5 phone numbers are always going to be the most accurate, just depending, once again, where you're getting your data. So I'm going to only upload the top 5 phone numbers. This will make a huge difference to my connectivity rate. So I'm just going to adjust this because my first phone number is actually named phone number 0. So I'll just tell the system, hey, this is actually phone number 1 for me. This is phone number 2, and I'm just making those adjustments. Phone number 3, phone number 4, phone number 5. Now, if you want to give this a try and to see how this will seriously boost your connectivity, if you are used to uploading all 10 phone numbers that you might get, try not importing them and see what happens. But I'm going to go to phone number 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 10 and not import them. Click on the destination field, scroll up to the top if you want to give that a try, and tell the system, hey, I don't want to import that. Now, after I go through and make sure that the system has matched everything accordingly and I've corrected anything that's needed to be, then I'll just click next. You'll name your file. This is a Driving for Dollars list I have in DFW, so I'll just name it Driving for Dollars as well next to that. If you have a campaign, which we're about to create, you can assign it. Duplicate old phone numbers, new, or reject. This is just if I uploaded a list with John Smith 6 months ago and his phone number was 480-555, and then I upload Mary, 6 months later today, and her phone number is 480-555, the system is not going to allow duplicate phone numbers. So it's going to say, hey, do you want to keep it on your original old contact, like John in this scenario, or do you want to keep it on the new contact and take it off of your old one, or do you want to just completely reject any phone number that already matches in the system? Most of the time, you're probably going to say keep new, especially if that's a fresh list. That's what I'm going to do in this scenario. It'll always remove duplicates. You can decide to scrub your company DNC. I would. People you've already marked as do not call. We'll always scrub litigators. You can decide if you want to scrub the DNC or the federal DNC. And if you only want to call the landlines within that list, you can scrub out the mobiles. I'm going to leave that alone. Click submit. It'll take a couple minutes to load, and you can actually start going and clicking on all your contacts to open up their contact card. There's a lot of really great things you can do with that, and you're about to see how when I make phone calls right after we create our campaign. So in campaigns, we'll open this up, and we'll keep this really simple, so do keep in mind there are a lot of important pieces here that will 100% affect your connectivity. So do, once again, get into the community, get into the help center, and leave us a comment. But we'll go to new campaign in this section. And I'm going to choose a predictive dialer for this. Preview dialer is for manually dialing. You can dial out a phone number or use the keypad. You can call people back with this one. The predictive dialer is going to help you get through your contact list super quick, pick up multiple people most of the time, depending on the settings that you choose and how you want to go about that. So we'll do this. It's going to be kind of like the power dialer. Now, choose your agents on whoever is going to be making those calls. If you have team members in here, if it's just going to be you, choose your own name, choose your phone numbers. The more, the better, always. Try to stick to making no more than maybe 80 calls per day per phone number. I would disregard what you see here, but keep that in mind. It will make a very significant difference. Now, after getting your phone numbers attached on which phone numbers you're going to use to make those calls, remember, if you go back to your destination in that phone system, you can always double check on what will happen when somebody calls you back. So for example, let's say those brand new phone numbers that I just selected here, I grabbed them after getting them into my account. If I go over to my phone system, it'll show me that my destination is voicemail 7. So after I make outbound calls with these and somebody sees that pop up on their phone and calls me back, it's going to send them to a voicemail so I can capture their data. So after grabbing those, get your contact list that you've uploaded. Here's my Driving for Dollars DFW list. I'm going to also name that DFW Driving for Dollars. Call results. These are so important. They have rules attached. They absolutely make a huge difference on what's going to happen with your contacts. So look at that in the Help Center. Reach out to me as well in the community. So under advanced configuration, there's so many things in here. I won't highlight and explain all of them, but you'll decide on how the system will call through your contacts. Most of the time you'll choose adaptive. You'll most of the time be choosing automatic answer only for the predictive dialer, just how you want your contacts to be able to be connected to you. Automatic answer will be like a regular phone call. Dialing behavior. There's so many things in here. Like if you're in the advanced plan only, you have something called rapid fire mode, whereas the algorithm will change where as soon as a slot becomes available, like if somebody in your rotation hung up on you in the middle of it ringing, it will immediately pick up another contact. So you're never wasting time. Gets through your list extremely quickly. This is just where you would decide on how many lines or how many people you're going to be calling at one time. We recommend trying to stay not going over 3 if you can for the sake of your connectivity. How many times are you going to call somebody within the campaign if they don't answer? And how much time are you going to wait in between those attempts? We recommend staying at these numbers. No more than 3 times in a campaign. You can always redial the campaign later on to still try to reach them, but in the campaign. And then giving them some time before calling them again. We recommend not going under 3 hours. Queue behavior, leave that at 30 seconds. Smart local presence is only also in advanced plans. Keep this enabled if you have it, where the system will purposely use a matching area code that you have to a contact that comes up so they're more likely to connect with you and answer your call. The system will rotate through your phone numbers simultaneously to use them evenly, but if it has something matching, it will use it. If you have Podio integrated, connect it here so you can push people over. If you're using lead sheets, these are so awesome in your settings. Connect it. Decide if you're going to record your calls. If you want to have the system filter out answering machines for you, that just depends, and that will also affect your connectivity depending on what you do. We're going to skip over that just because we could go into so much detail. It's up to you if you want to suppress the federal do not call list. We're going to do that for this. Suppress the system do not call, probably for sure. So you don't call people that you've already talked to that said don't call me back. You can suppress wireless contacts here if you want to, and you'll probably always want to suppress litigators. It's up to you. Choose your calling hours based on the time zone of where you're calling. If I live in New York and I'm calling people in Arizona, the time zone I'm going to put here is Arizona. So you're not calling people too early or too late. So I would say, hey, I don't want to call people earlier than 8 a.m. and I don't want to call people later, let's say, than 5 p.m. And I could apply that to all the days or even take days off. So me and my agents can't call on certain days, certain times. Accept the terms and conditions here. Click save. That's all. Now I know we went through that quickly, but this is where you'll want to get into more of the details and connect and come to the master classes so we can go through this a lot slower. But just to get things started, you'll want to get these things going and at least have an idea of what's in here and what we recommend really trying to not change. I'm just going to change my list name since it's a duplicate, or my campaign name, and click save. Now to make your phone calls, that's all you need to do to have set up a voicemail, phone numbers connected to that voicemail, contact list, and your campaign. So click on the phone at the top of the screen and click join on whichever campaign you want to start calling. Here's an eye icon for my preview or a manual dialer campaign I have, or a few that I have, and a magic wand to show me that's my predictive or automatic dialer. This is the one I just created, DFW Driving for Dollars. I'm going to click join. I am going to hang up the call very quickly as this is an example in a real list, and just to show you what pops up. In this example, I have selected 3 simultaneous lines or dials per agent. It's going to pick up 3 different contacts, and whoever answers after it's been rotating, it will pop up their contact card, and I'll be able to immediately see my script, look at their property details, leave notes, etc. So click join. I am going to hang up the call very quickly. So you can see it's about to pick up multiple contacts here, and we'll just wait for that to pick those people up. So now it's picked them up, and it will rotate through until someone answers. I'm just going to mute it. I'm going to hang up the call for now and leave a call result. These are important because they have rules on the back end of them. So if I choose a button here, something will happen with my contact, whether it puts them on my do not call list, whether it sends them to my Podio account or over to my CRM, whether it puts them back into my call rotation to call them again later, or maybe even a voicemail drop. You can do that too. Make sure you leave the call result that's fitting to the conversation. I don't want to call this person back on accident for future examples, so I'll mark them as do not call. Put your notes here, put your mood, and then click done. For the predictive dialer, it will immediately pick up a new set of contacts. Now let's click done here, and I'm going to stop dialing in the campaign so you can see what you see here, and then you'll be able to give this a try and let us know how it goes. Let's click done. And I'm just going to go back up to the campaign section of the phone and leave the campaign. So to start dialing, click join. To stop dialing and step away, click leave. It's all hiding within your phone. If you don't see the phone, just open it back up. Okay, so in this section, when that person answered, it immediately took me to their contact card. I don't have a script connected to this campaign, but I'd be able to read off of my script. I'd be able to view the property details if I've had that uploaded into my contact list. And I'd be able to start seeing things like how long they've owned this property, if it's vacant or not, seeing things about the area or photos of the property if that's available. And you're able to also go to Google Maps or Zillow if it's not pulling up all the information that you need, but this is provided for you so you can easily go into those conversations and have as much information as possible. If they have liens on the property, if they're in pre-foreclosure, etc. Under activities, it'll show you if you've called them, what number you've called, what you marked that. It'll show you your call recordings. You can leave your notes and show you past ones, and your lead sheet. Once again, make sure you have this connected so you can fill it out. It's basically a sheet for you and your team to stay on track. You can also schedule follow-up calls, which will tie into your calendar. Now, last but not least, keep in mind that yes, you'll get your voicemail notifications in your email, but also in the chat bubble in the top right-hand corner, you have a lead side, which is where all of the voicemails left by your contacts that have called you back will be accessible here. There's so much you can do within BatchDialer. We hardly scratched the surface. So if you do have questions, leave them down in the comments. Let us know if you found value in this video and if this got you started with making your first phone calls within BatchDialer. As always, subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you can stay informed with new videos being released, and click the thumbs up icon if you liked it as well. And last but not least, check out the description, join the community, and watch out for the next upcoming masterclass. You can learn at least 5 different ways to improve your connectivity. Proven ways. See you guys next time.